Hello guys, this is Yue, your Chaos Gear Officer. And today in this video, we're talking about different stuff sacks and why you need a stuff sack, how many you will need, and what type of stuff sacks you will want to bring in your next backpacking trip. Stuff sack is so underappreciated. They are very useful. A lot of people, when they go to backpacking, they just think about what kind of backpack I want. But backpack is just the biggest bag that you will carry. And if you don't have stuff sacks, your stuff can be very disorganized in your backpack. And that's why you need a lot of different kind of stuff sack to make your backpack better and more organized. So the first stuff sack that I'm going to introduce you today is the most simple stuff sack. These stuff sacks came in different sizes. It doesn't need to be any big brand. Mine had the brand, I'd like to say, but it's not any big brand. It's random. It has this kind of string. It is not elastic, but it has this kind of buckle that you can just unbuckle it, and then you can open it like this. The material is some polymers, but they are not waterproof. However, they're still sturdy enough that it is so sturdy that I put crampons inside of them before. If you don't know, crampons, they are the thing that you put on your shoes when you walk on glaciers, and they have like metal teeth that I can grab on the glaciers. So these kind of bag can put crampons, so that's pretty good. And they're really cheap, so I don't mind damaging them. And as you can see here, they have this really nice white patches here. It came with this bag. And I can write my name on the bag so I don't confuse it with other people's bags. And I also wrote what is inside the bag because I bought a lot of them and they look exactly the same. So I need to label what are the things inside. For this one, if you cannot read Chinese, it basically said personal hygienes. And of course, all my hygienes are inside this bag because I don't want to just make this video and spill everything. Yeah, so in this larger bag that I do not know how many liters of, but it's obviously pretty large, I have smaller bags. And as you can see, it looks exactly like the bigger ones. So that's why I say you need to label. They're not waterproof, but if something spills in the little bag, it can catch it. Also, a lot of times you can put a Ziploc bag inside these kind of little bags, so they'll become waterproof. Bam. In this little bag, I have my biodegradable wash and my no rinse shampoo. So if I want to just go out of my camp and wash my body, I can just take this little guy with me and I don't have to bring all of these. Yeah. And you say, well, I have so many bags, how can I organize them? Well, an easy thing to do is to put little bags inside of the big bags. So I mentioned earlier in the video, this kind of bag come in all sizes. So this is one, and I'll put a smaller one inside of it. And then I have another the smallest one, I think. When you put these bags, you don't have to tighten them, but you can just put them back. And then you will fold this bag. And you will put it inside the larger bag. Just like this. It's very easy, very simple. And whenever you just want another bag for something, you can just grab one of these. Super convenient. And I just store this in my larger bag. Next up, we have this kind of, OMG. This kind of stuff sack. It is from REI. I bought it because I was dumb. I thought I would use it for my sleeping bag, but it doesn't fit my sleeping bag. Yeah, my sleeping bag just can't get in. As you can see, this bag, it has also a very thin polymer material, but this material is not waterproof. It's just a little bit more lightweighted, but I say stuff sack, they are just really light anyways. And the string here is not elastic. It just made a little bit fancier with all these type of buckles that you can easily tighten them, and when you put it out, you just pull this the zipper here, and it's very easy to use. So as you can see, this stuff sack is different from this guy because it has this thing. And this kind of stuff sack is actually called a compressional sack. So for this one, it is pretty hard for you to really compress things. Like, it's just here. You can tie it, get all the air out, and you can tie it this way. And then you pull your string over here, round it a little bit, and normally this will do fine in your backpack. And this is how you just tie everything up. You don't have the excess material outside. But a lot of times, if you have things like clothing, this kind of compression is not going to work. The clothing is not going to just stay there. They will explode. So what should you do? Well, if you have this kind of compression sack that has this very sturdy straps and this cap, it is easier for you to compress. And I am going to demonstrate on how you can use this thing with my actual clothes. I just grabbed this randomly. I have a pants, I have this puffy, sweatpants, this dress, bra, t-shirt, light-weighted clothes, socks. I don't know how much it can fit in the stuff sack, but we will see. So now we're going to put all these pile of clothes into this little stuff sack. So first, you need to put your hand in your stuff sack to make sure it's all clear. Make sure everywhere, like for now, you can see that this side is empty, but this side is filled with my pants. So you want to make sure that every side is uniform, so you don't have any excess space. And then you push it in. Then I have this clothes folded up. Folding up is very important because if you just put it in like in random like this, it have a lot of air and space in between all those wrinkles. So you don't want that part to be there. So as you can see, every time when I put in a pants, I will put in something that is smaller. So it's like a big thing and a small thing, and then just fill up the entire space of this layer. And now I'm going to pull the strings, and then I want to make sure that it's clear. The string needs to go inside, so the string will not just fly everywhere in your backpack and make a mess. Goes inside, very clean, good habit. And then you pull these larger strings around, and you place the cap right on the sack like this, and then you will tighten up the straps, just pull them, and most people will stop here and they think that, oh, it's really sturdy, I have this capsule thing right here, it will not just explode. But this is not how you use a stuff sack. How you use it will be, you will be on top of it and really squeeze out all the air, and you tighten up the straps once again like this. just tighten up the straps. This is also how you use a compression sack for your sleeping bag. But I think I will make a sleeping bag episode at some point. So I will just re-emphasize it. And normally at this point, like you can see the design is just here. So yeah, REI stuff sack, pretty good compressional sack. I'd say the drawback for this sack is when you want to grab something, it is less convenient. Like if I want to grab something here, I can just unfold my bag and then open it up, grab my stuff. But for the compressional sack, you need to unbuckle everything every time and then recompress it to make it solid. It's really heavy right now. Never make it uneven. So as you can see, every strap is pretty even right now. So it's nice. But if you make it uneven, the shape will not be the most ideal and you will lose space. Undo this is you lift it here and yeah, you just lift it here, put it off, and then you grab your strings out, you just pull it. Let's see how much stuff that I have. Awesome. This is like all my stuff that I put in my stuff sack that you saw earlier. Next up, we have these kind of C2 Summit dry bags. So the reason they're called dry bags is because they keep stuff dry. This material is different from the other one. It is waterproof. The sewing here is very tight, so it's also waterproof at the bottom. This kind of seal is also waterproof to keep everything dry, but only with the right way to use it that you can keep things dry. I bought 2 of them for my backpacking trips. This one is larger, this one is smaller. They are all the same and they're pretty useful. However, these kind of sacks are usually way more expensive than normal stuff sacks. So I say use them wisely. Use them only for things you really care about getting wet, like your clothing. Yeah, I always use it for the clothing. Definitely not personal hygiene stuff. So I'm going to demonstrate how to put stuff in the little sack. For dry bags, you do not want to fill things up all the way to the top, like the compression sacks. So basically, you will kind of put your thumbs and fingers here, but you want to let some air out. It is pretty difficult to let the air out on the side because it's not breathable material. Oh, it's only 8 liters. Wow. This sack is little. And then you just hold on to it. Still try to seal it this way. 1, 2, and 3. I think 3 rows will be the most safe. And then here's a buckle. You click it here. And yeah, here you have your dry bag. It will keep everything dry. And because you have several rows here, the water won't get in here. It's pretty safe. One hack about those compression sacks and dry bags is once you have them filled in, like you see in the video today, you can use them as a pillow for your sleeping at night when you do backpacking. So you don't have to pack up another inflatable pillow for you to hike. You can just fill in with your puffy, your fleece into your compression sacks and just use them as pillow at night, just to save space and to be more lightweighted. Also, the good thing about using these sacks and clothing for pillows is sometimes the inflatable pillows they will deflate over time at night. And when you breathe into those inflatable pillows, you breathe in hot air. And at night they will get cold and they will just deflate a little bit because air will shrink in volume when it's colder. So if you have those puffies, they won't really deflate or inflate. They can give a stabilized pillow. I told you that backpack is a super big sack. So yeah, of course we have a really big stuff sack that you can become your backpack. If you saw my previous video that I go on day trip, this kind of day trip bags can easily turn into stuff sack. In fact, the material that made it is very similar to the material that made stuff sacks. And these kind of shoulder straps are very lightweighted, so they're easier to just fold and put in your backpack. You can just put whatever you will take on a day trip in this bag. No matter they're already in a staff sack or they're not, you can still just organize them here. And when you get to your camping ground and you want to just have a short hike today, you can just pull out your little stuff sack and carry them on your shoulder and just go on the trails. Last but not least, the most beneficial and convenient bag to bring to the field is trash bag and Ziploc bags. I do not have them with me right now because I used them up in my field trips earlier. A trash bag can wrap around everything that you need to be waterproof. Well, you say a trash bag is not that waterproof, then you can just wrap 2 of them to seal the opening of the trash bag. And if you have a Ziploc bag, of course you can put your trail mix, personal hygiene into the Ziploc bag, or even if you want to go really lightweighted, just put your sunscreen directly, squeeze them into the Ziploc bag. It's super lightweighted, it's waterproof. So there's so many bags that you can bring in the field. What kind of bag do you really need for your next field trip? Well, it really depends on where you are going and how long you will be going. If the place has a lot of rain, I recommend having 1 to 2 dry bag or trash bag or Ziploc bags with you just to put everything, clothing, and things you care about that don't want to get wet inside. If you know that your backpack is going to be helicoptered to somewhere and staying in an unknown environment for a while, then definitely wrap around it with trash bags so you can keep everything dry. However, if you could just go into Arizona or even just summer California that do not have rain all the time, you just don't need to buy those expensive dry bags. And knowing how many days you will be out in the field will determine your total volume of your backpack. It depends on how organized you want to be. You want to calculate all the volume for your different bags and make sure that they will all fit in your backpack. There is no use if you have, for example, like 100 liters of different kind of little bags and your backpack is only 40 liters, because your larger backpack will determine how much space you will have in total. That is all my tips for choosing bags and how to use all the bags. I hope they are helpful. I personally really like all the different kinds of bags I have. No matter they're cheap, they're expensive, they are waterproof, they are not, they are useful in all the ways, and you will find them beneficial in the field. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment in the comment area below to let me know what I can improve or what you want to hear from me. I will see you next time.